So, hi guys, I'm Kim, and I'm here with,
Vidal.
And Alberto.
and this is our podcast. We have a lot of fun stuff for you guys going on today. So stay tuned.
All right. Well, we didn't plan on talking about Joker,
Wait, have you seen Joker yet, Alberto?
Yeah.
Okay.
but now
We talked about it last week.
Joker.
I don't even remember what happened the last 5 minutes, so give me a break.
Okay.
I have to ask this right off the bat to
Okay.
both of you. Nothing. It's probably not what you guys think. I already asked you earlier.
I'm really curious to see what you have to say about it.
Everyone is throwing a fit about how violent it is.
Isn't that the point?
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I watched it and it was not that violent to me.
Yeah.
It
there
was
blood.
medium at best.
Yeah.
Obviously, every Quentin Tarantino movie, for example, it's 10 times more violent than this.
Exactly.
But
Kill Bill would put that in
I
the
know.
dirt.
Oh, yeah.
You see there's one scene that would just annihilate the entire thing on violence, and that's when
Oh, yeah.
she actually goes to meet the Crazy 88 and just kills everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally like,
Yeah.
it looks like she has like a water hose on every person's limb of blood gushing
Yeah.
out.
I think the fact that the movie centers around a white older man, that's a huge topic that people are seriously obsessed with for some reason.
This is why you feel they're up at arms.
Yeah.
I think it's more because it's a DC film overall. Like, it's based off a character that was made for comic book purposes and has been shown in a lot of kids' movies, like Lego Batman, the original Batman movies. So when you jump from our last Joker, which was Jared Leto, he wasn't
Now that
he
is
wasn't-
a joke.
yeah, he wasn't
saying.
good, but like a lot of kids went to watch Suicide Squad and they're like, "Hey, look, it's the Joker." And when a lot of kids look at the new Joker, they're like, what the hell? And I think that's more why they're making such a big deal out of it. But I think that's more up to the parents of like, hey, this movie's rated R, you shouldn't go see it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think that's really the reason why they're throwing a fit.
Side note, Jared Leto, my opinion, he did an awesome job.
The writing was shit though.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Like,
I feel like that movie,
Not
like,
his fault.
It should have
Yeah.
just had one main villain. And the Joker, if they had the movie with the Joker in it, he probably should have been the main villain, so we could just solely focus on him, so he could have more time to actually like really solidify and flesh his character out.
Yeah, because he's not in charge of like, hey, we're going to put tattoos on the Joker. He's not in charge of that.
Yeah.
He just did the best he could. Just the
Yeah.
writing was
yeah,
bad.
he's everything I've watched. Jared Leto is awesome. At least for me, like the Dallas Buyers Club was awesome. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
he freaking lost that much weight for that, but he's
Yeah.
everything he does is really
Yeah, method.
good.
Yeah.
Or Meisner. No. All right. So back to Joker. So people up at arms.
I feel
you
like
feel like it's
This is about a subject that we've been kind of getting closer towards discussing, but we still have been dancing around it for a while, and that's the subject of mental illness. And I also believe that the fact that I feel like this is a movie that can showcase something very important, which is like the lack of some of the fundamental things that a human being needs to function properly. And this is a movie that Todd Phillips, the director, had stated in interviews himself that, circumstances like the lack of love and compassion is exactly this is a consequence of what the lack of compassion and love and consideration or whatever can do to a person.
and that's one thing too.
Yeah.
It happens across a huge spectrum,
Plus,
and that's one thing. Go ahead.
you were talking about like Quentin Tarantino and how his movies were really violent. They are really violent, but they don't justify it. Like,
Yeah.
if you go to Joker and like you understand why he killed, and to
Yeah.
a certain point you take his side.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it's more heavy violence when you justify and show the reason why it's violent than
Yeah.
if you just go in and behead a bunch of people, if that makes
I feel
sense.
like people are obsessed with pointing out the perpetrator the perpetrator and their actions, when in reality there's more than one perpetrator. There's so many different circumstances that pushed Arthur Fleck to make the decisions that he made.
Yeah, but like
From mental illnesses to general treatment in society. You know, there's so many reasons a person can snap. And it takes one bad day. And
in Kill Bill, like for example, they don't really show that. If a kid goes and watches Kill Bill, they're like, oh, like they're scared of the violence, but they don't come out of the movie like making conspiracy theories and wanting to overthrow the government. You know.
What do you mean about, you said earlier that it wasn't justified? Can you expand on that? What do you mean?
Like in Kill Bill, like she'll kill them, but it was really just like as a defense, you know? Like it's not for Joker. I feel like they
So you just mean theatrically as part of the narrative, the story.
Yeah, the story. Like for Joker, they showed like the reason why he kills and how someone would realistically do it. For Kill Bill, it's more fiction, like, oh, she's really trained and blah blah blah. But for Joker, it's more like he's just a dude, and he can still impact a lot of like people by just being like mentally ill. And I feel like a lot of people took that as, oh, they're justifying killers by just calling them mental ill, like just saying they have mental illness. And I think that's why they're making such a big deal out of it. It's not so much the violence, it's so much that they don't understand that it's not justified to kill people. And the movie's trying to say, like sure, like, even you can be tempted to, but you shouldn't do that because it's not right in the end. But I think a lot of people took it as, oh, if you don't like society, you should kill. And I think
that's a huge point.
Yeah, and I think that's
a
why
big point.
I think that's why people are like so mad about it.
Yeah.
And I also feel that people are absolutely solely focused on the negative actions and the fact that they just don't want to hear the fact that there can be actual reasons why someone does the thing that they do. You know, if the reality that people seem to not be grasping is that this is a very real person.
Did you feel uncomfortable watching it?
Yes, but the thing is,
did you feel uncomfortable watching it? You did?
Yeah.
So the thing is, that
I must be a monster. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a real person in the sense that the morbid reality is that when you treat someone like shit, there's a huge chance that this person is not going to take the high road and walk away. And I think this is the perfect movie to showcase that cautionary tale that, hey, if you treat someone like shit, they can reach what we all have is called a breaking point. And if you treat someone like shit, there's a chance that someone could actually reach theirs and actually do something really horrible back to you.
So let me I have to say this.
Spit it out.
So you just said that so someone can have a breaking point. Something I think's interesting is you have this group of people, and I'm not trying to point fingers. Something interesting to just thought of is this group of people that are like, hey, you know, this person can do this and we shouldn't do that. Some of those people are a part of the problem. They are the bullies. They're like, hey, don't do that. And they go back to school and they're like, hey, turd.
Yeah.
Another reality, especially when in the world of debating, is that some people don't argue to solve problems. There are assholes out there, obviously, and they don't argue to solve and fix a problem. They just argue to be an asshole.
And they argue to be right.
Yeah.
But what you were saying about how everyone has a breaking point, I thought it was cool how I'm more of like a comic book fan, but I thought it was cool how they showed the death of Batman's parents, because that was technically his breaking point too, but there's a difference between someone who channels it into killing people and the other one channels it into like justice and make sure it doesn't happen to them too. Because Arthur
put
Fleck,
that together. That's awesome.
Because Arthur Fleck could have been like, oh, I'm gonna fight for so that people don't have to suffer the way I did. but instead
Yeah.
he's so everyone can suffer the way I did.
Has
So
anybody put that out?
That kind of
I don't know.
That kind of
I
just
circles
did.
right back
I love
around
it.
to the point that I originally make, is that not everyone takes the high road.
Yeah.
Sometimes everyone handles and reacts to things differently. So you run the risk of someone having a very, very negative reaction when they're treated like shit.
Yeah.
Or they could possibly have a
everyone's
positive
Batman.
reaction and then, I don't know, go on the side of vigilantism or something.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so I have to intervene here. We definitely had a whole bunch of talk on the mental health issues, and it's definitely important. In the spirit of film, was there anything cinematography-wise that you were just amazed by?
For Joker.
Yeah.
There's this one shot where it's like right at the beginning, and I caught it immediately, but like my parents, of course, didn't see it. But when he's in the mirror, you can see two lights hanging in the back, and then there's like a rag or something, and it looks just like Batman. It's a silhouette of Batman. Here.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
shit.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so
that's a trip.
if you, well, you guys obviously can't see it if you're listening, but it's right at the beginning when he's painting himself in the mirror. If you pause it when the two lights are panning through the mirror, it looks like Batman's mask.
oh shit.
Yeah, so
Batman cameo.
Okay, one part that I really thought was awesome was when he goes in there. He's starting to build up into his breaking point, and it's something small, but to me it was huge. But you know, he goes in there, he talks a bunch of trash, and just as he's going down the stairs, he crosses out.
oh yeah,
It says,
don't forget to smile.
Yeah,
It
it's
says,
all don't smile.
Yeah.
It was so tiny.
Because he's just treating it as a big joke. That's when he starts
Yeah.
to realize it's a comedy. Like,
But I love that they wrote that in. It's such a small detail, but it's so
Yeah.
awesome. It fits
and
so
as
good.
someone who like,
and the stairs are going down, so you know, representing him going down. Like it was just
Yeah.
it was awesome.
I treat a lot of problems very comedically. I'm not in like anywhere close to that, of course, but like my mindset is that if you laugh at it, it takes away the power to hurt you as much, at least. But
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool how they explored that, you know.
One thing that I thought, I don't know if he did it on purpose. I don't know if it was like the actor's choice, but didn't it seem like one of his scapulas or his
Yeah,
shoulder
that's-
blades was
that-
like popping out? Was that
that
his
was,
choice?
Oh, he
Did they
lost
ask him to
like
do that?
Actually,
that was the
Joaquin
actor.
Phoenix actually has a slight like deformity on his back or whatever with those specific muscles, so they naturally look like that, especially when he's lost so much weight.
That
lost, like,
added
50
to it.
pounds.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Oh yeah.
Coochie.
And the thing that I absolutely loved about Joaquin Phoenix, he's not only an astounding and incredible actor. When I first saw the first clip of him as Arthur Fleck in full hair, makeup, whatever, I almost didn't recognize him because his face, in particular, because of his weight loss, was so visibly different. It was shocking to me that I actually started having dreams about it. I think that a wonderful testament to how amazing he is as an actor is that in certain shots, he's making certain facial expressions that on one hand, sometimes he looks like the sweetest, kindest man, and on the other hand, certain shots he has other facial expressions to where he looks incredibly creepy. And I think the physicality of how he looks with the weight loss, especially since it shows in his cheeks, he's got like actual cheekbones protruding almost. I think that definitely helps.
He looks like the comic book Joker.
Yeah, he's
Straight up.
The physical transformation he did, coupled with his acting, of course, is just absolutely phenomenal. I think that really, really helps because some people, obviously, however, you know, clean shaven and however well put together they can be, or how unkempt they can be, some people just have a very naturally creepy look.
Same.
And at times, Joaquin has like, he can look like a very kind-hearted person, and then other times he looks really fucking creepy.
I really loved all the extreme close-ups, but specifically the opening scene
When he's painting himself.
when he's painting himself, and I don't know if you guys have ever put on makeup on your eyes or whatever for whatever
You're talking
reason.
to a girl.
I know, but
Well,
but bottom line, I don't know.
Like actual costume.
What I
makeup.
mean is, yeah, like it. Sometimes your eyes water a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was watching it, it
In
didn't.
that one tear.
At first I was like, well, he's putting on makeup. He's not real. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it just drops.
Yeah. That
And-
was completely unplanned too, by the way. Yeah.
It was awesome. And then I liked how he.
painted his tongue.
Yes.
Which makes me actually kind of think about a little time in history where certain paints had lead in them. And like, let's say Mad Hatters, the story of how Mad Hatters came to be is that they
mercury.
made their hats with mercury in their in the hat lining or whatever, and it would kind of seep into their skin through their pores and kind of make them loopy or whatever.
Huh.
And then I thought
didn't know that.
maybe
I thought it was like they used it somehow when they're making it, like the
it's-
machines, but it was actually in the hats.
Yeah, it was part of the material in which the hats were made, which some in I think Victorian era England or whatever, they had a recall on a specific type of green wallpaper because it had lead in it, and that was
Did you hear-
making people sick.
Did you hear
So-
about the silicone that they had to recall? But it
No.
was like the silicone that you put in like breast
in-
implants.
Oh wow,
Imagine having to give your boobies back.
that would suck.
No, but
yeah,
honestly,
like-
I thought Mad Hatter was just Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, and then when I distinctly had the thought of lead being in the paint when he was painting his tongue, and I was thinking, that's a huge possibility of making a person sick, is because like certain types of things, that's why you're not supposed to let your kids eat glue and shit, because there's
Yeah.
obviously toxic chemicals and stuff in these things. Some paints as well used to have lead.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
Before this podcast drops, we need to have a spoiler alert for people who haven't seen Joker yet.
I'll
Oh,
put it
you
in
know
the-
what? That's actually
yeah,
a
I'll
good
put it in
idea.
Woo!
I'll put it in the title.
They'll be like,
To be fair, though, a
oh.
lot of the stuff we've
Yeah.
mentioned has just been stuff from the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so
It's not like we've mentioned him killing Murray or anything.
Murray.
Murray.
Um,
Well, that was a trip, dude.
I have to tell you guys something that, from a cinematic standpoint, 2 pieces that you have to watch that I watched recently. The first piece, and I think you guys probably will both. I don't know about you, Alberto.
Excuse me.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out if I see your head go up and you start radiating excitement.
Oh, I don't.
El
get
Camino.
excited.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Don't say anything. Don't you dare say anything.
El
'Cause I was a
Camino?
Breaking Bad fan
Yeah.
with my mom.
Oh, that one.
Did you watch Breaking Bad? Did
I
you
didn't
like
watch
it?
Breaking Bad.
No?
Yeah.
It's because when I was 16, my mom said I couldn't watch it till I was 17, and then when I turned 17, I didn't want to.
El Camino's basically like
Yeah.
right after the
I wouldn't-
last episode, the last season,
So-
last
so it
episode, the
takes
last
place-
season, the
Yeah.
final thing.
So does it don't say anything.
I'm not
but
gonna
does
say
it-
anything.
Does it take place like a few days or maybe the next day?
It is literally picks up right
shit.
where it left off.
Oh, shit.
That's
So
like,
since you guys haven't watched it, I'm not gonna spoil it, but
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
I
I
just
might
gotta
watch
tell
it with
you-
my mom tonight. Actually,
is it a show or is it a movie?
it's a movie.
Oh.
It's so Breaking Bad was a TV show.
Yeah.
And then they made an extension as a movie.
Cool.
so
I did.
no. You know what? I'll move on to the next one so I don't spoil it for you guys. But a couple of things that are not spoiling anything is the color grading on it is insane.
Ooh.
The color grading on it is insane. It's just regular.
Wow.
It's it's not like they're trying to do anything like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon as far as like these
The colors?
color themes and stuff. but you watch
it's natural.
it just looks so
fantastic.
good. All the color looks awesome, and it is so clear. It almost
cool.
they I don't think they did, but it almost looks like a tiny bit like maybe they filmed it at like 30 frames per second. I don't think they did, but it's that clear though, where you're like, oh my god, this is super clear. Definitely, Ari Alexa, it was just awesome. Okay,
The Alexa camera.
the other thing is the composition, how they place people, things in there.
Oh, really?
Geometry, like,
Ooh, okay.
oh my god. I'm telling
The
you,
mise-en-scène?
every single thing you watch, you're like, oh look, oh look, oh look, oh look.
Oh, okay, so we're going to be doing that
I'm
the whole
telling
time.
you, it's, well, this is what I suggest.
Are they basically callbacks to the series?
They're, I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yes.
I can't
Yes.
say.
You're going to be recognizing all kinds of stuff.
There's an
huh?
element to it that yes, but
It's the cancer.
what I'm gonna say is just watch it first. Don't try to analyze it. Just watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little harder for me to do that now. I'll go, oh look, and then I'll go, no, just watch it, just watch. But yeah, just get through it. It's good. All right, so the other thing you gotta watch that from a cinematic or from a cinematography standpoint, where you're like, holy crap, is Peaky Blinders.
I still have not seen that.
the
I
latest-
still need to watch it.
The latest season, there's an episode in there.
Did it just start the recent season? How
It has a
many
new
is it?
season, yeah.
5? Or is it 3?
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me look it up
Yeah.
with my handy dandy computer.
But I'm telling you, there's... God, I just pulled out 2 things that you guys... I can't spoil for you because you guys haven't seen
oh
it.
damn, it's been running since 2013, so
All right. Without telling too much or ruining it for
7
you,
seasons. Never mind.
they do an intercut to where it's like this part going on inside where they're watching some dancers, and there's something unfolding outside. They do stuff between those dancers that are metaphoric for what's going on outside, and it's freaking awesome. I'm telling you, it's so awesome.
That makes me think of the baptism scene in one of the
Godfathers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there's the baptism going on at the same time, and then the thing is about to go down.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of. Is that? Am I right?
Yeah,
on
I think
that?
it's The Godfather 2. It's The Godfather 2. I believe it's
Okay.
Godfather 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Man. All right. Let's talk film club, Miracosta. What we're doing here. How's it been so far? You guys enjoying it?
Yeah, it's not bad. I feel like since this is my first time really at film club this semester, I feel like there's so much that we're gonna have to do, or that we even plan to do, that I don't know if we have enough time to do everything. Do.
I
Yeah.
think we're running kind of into the same problem we did last year, where it's like, all right, we're writing. No one will pull the trigger on, all right, when are we going to film it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
because
another
everyone's
thing.
scared of, like, finishing it, and I think at some point we have to finish it,
Yeah, like we're constantly working on it, but we never.
Exactly, to the point
Yeah.
where,
The
because if
finished
you
product.
reread something 50 times in 1 week, it's going to be boring, and you're going to think, oh, it's bad writing because it's boring. Like, no, it's not bad writing, it's just oversaturated.
So here's something that I plan on doing on a Wednesday. I might as well just barf it out. I have my own film stuff, my own film equipment. So what I was going to do, I was going to bring it and just have like a 15-minute portion either at the end or the beginning where we kind of go through some stuff and maybe just shoot an ad-libbed, improvised scene, and everybody get a chance to mess with the equipment and stuff, maybe talk a little bit about it.
Something.
TikTok.
And just do some stuff.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
One thing that I'm doing, because I'm getting ready to shoot a series in January, from January 6th to January 26th, called Vicious Blood.
Sounds dope.
I can't wait to shoot it. I didn't want to do a series at first. I only wanted to do features, but I had this story that I wanted to do. And anyway, let me skip to the end.
Yeah.
So, in preparation for that, I haven't done anything really. I've been taking acting classes to kind of build my vocabulary and try to be a better director. down at MCIT Studios in San Diego. And so what I'm going to start doing, I think we're just doing our first one tomorrow, is we're going to start at one of my friend's house. We're going to do a scene, and at their house, just like a little ad lib thing, so I can get practice directing and they can practice, you know what I mean, get some work in. We're basically going to go and let's just say, for example, hey, here's your goal is to stop this person, and the stakes are, if you let them leave, then this happens.
Yeah.
Something like that. And, you know, shoot it once or twice and then move on to something else and just have fun with it. So we can all get some work in, and I can practice the craft. Yeah. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that.
Yeah. It sounds really exciting.
One thing I want to show everybody too that was taught to me, and I feel like a turd for not knowing, but I didn't know you could actually go into the iPhone and change your frames per second to 24 on the camera. I didn't know that. I never knew that.
So what kind of equipment do you use? Do you use your phone to film at all, or do you use an actual camera? Do you use it for recording video? Not your phone, not on your phone or whatever, but do you use a DSLR or an actual video camera?
To just shoot when I'm not shooting like just other videos and YouTube stuff. Like I use a DSLR. I have a Nikon D3300.
Okay.
For my sound, I have a Tascam DR60. I love it. I think it captures sound really good. For my mic, I have a Audio-Technica 875 AT.
Okay.
It's a condenser boom. Now for my boom, I actually made it myself. What I did was I went to a hardware store. Actually, when I was in Japan, I made it over there. So I found this mop that has these foam handles.
Yeah.
And it actually extends. So you unscrew the top, and it's like having like a freaking 20-foot pole. It's massive.
Oh, nice.
And then in case you need to mop the ceiling.
Right?
Well, what I did is,
we'll have high ceilings.
At the top, I drilled a hole. I took another piece from the hardware store where they, male and female and connector, and the actual adapter to the microphone that's an Audio-Technica brand. I just put those together.
Nice.
And now you can unscrew the top and unscrew, for as far as like carrying and making it easier to deal with and stuff. But yeah, so I'm telling you, when you see it, it's a pretty awesome piece of gear.
This was a boom pole mic?
Yeah, that I made. I didn't want to buy one. I wanted to make one.
Yeah,
I specifically wanted to make one.
Yeah, I've always wanted to make my own dolly mount for a camera. And then I also love watching, if you've ever heard of them, a YouTube channel called Film Riot.
Ooh, I know Film Riot.
Yeah, Film Riot. They're awesome. They have a lot of custom make like stuff that you can use for filmmaking or whatever. A lot of really cool, easy builds, and I think they did one for a dolly for your camera and stuff. I think they made it for less than $30.
Yeah, Film Riot's awesome. I love those guys.
They're awesome.
They're super crafty, and it's just fun to watch them play.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun to just watch them play.
Yeah, they like get such a kick out of their job. It's fantastic.
How awesome is that? Go in and that's your freaking job every day.
You're playing with a screen.
Oh, man.
It's really dirty.
From a writing standpoint, there's a ton of different stuff on this channel, but I'm telling you, from a writing standpoint, I love listening to them, is Film Courage. You guys ever listen to Film Courage?
Yeah, I listen to them too.
I thought you meant this channel. I was like, we have like one other video.
Oh. I love watching Film Club Miracosta.
The second one. So.
Oh, we have 2 videos.
Yeah, Beverly and I met up on Friday and we talked over the amount of time that we did for the first one.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to trim it down
slightly,
of course, a bit.
Well, we got 2 things. We're getting there.
Well, yeah.
Don't let the fame go to your head.
I'm excited. Everybody, you have to keep listening. You have to keep listening. That's my subliminal message. It's not
Right.
working, but we'll
It's
see.
not really subliminal if you're telling them exactly what it is. I mean, that's okay too. It's like, just do it, damn it.
All right, now that we're famous, we need to go get a biopic movie about doing drugs.
What the
Sweet.
hell?
Hell
Or
yeah.
we can make one.
Oh, no, we'll be high on drugs.
All right. So, anything else going on? Anybody working on any projects?
I don't have anything to do right now. But I am working on a short story that I did for my creative writing class. It's called I Can Too. Basically, it's about a guy who. Now I'm getting all tongue-tied again.
You got it. You got this. You got this. Kim.
Yeah.
Okay, for the listeners, she's not chugging beers.
Not
We're
yet.
drinking water.
No, not yet. Yeah.
All right,
Not
go
even
ahead.
drinking
Go ahead.
water.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's basically just a short story about a guy who comes across a comedian who on national television vouches for getting help and, seeing a therapist or doing therapy and stuff. And then he wrestles with the idea of how his abusive father still haunts him and how he considers doing therapy even though he grew up with a very unstable family environment and stuff. So I'm kind of working on extending the story and then maybe making a script for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I love Joker so much is because it did such a great job of conveying someone with mental illness. And that's something that, in my personal opinion, something that really matters to me is giving people a firm idea of what it's like for someone to have certain mental illnesses or to suffer from things like PTSD. I would love to also show people what it's like to spot and deal with certain types of abuse as well. So I think that would be a really fantastic possible anthology series where it can go into different types of relationships, and whether it's an abusive relationship or a very codependent relationship. It can deal with all kinds of traumatic things, and it can show people what it's like for those who have suffered from trauma, and it'll show people how the trauma has affected a person.
Huh. Do you have a name yet?
Not yet, no.
It sounds interesting. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, so I think proper portrayals of mental illnesses basically can do a lot of good for people, and it can just respectably show people what it's like to go through things like this, and instead of fearing it, this is something we can use to understand what it's like. So
Like Big Mouth.
Like Big Mouth.
yeah, so TV shows, I hear nothing but good things about TV shows like Big Mouth and BoJack Horseman.
Surprisingly very good.
Yeah.
I actually just watched the season 3 finale. The way they did it wasn't personally my cup of tea, but the story behind it was good.
Yeah.
You'll see, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I think that they did a good job. That one's more of like a puberty thing instead of like a mental illness thing.
Oh yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
still a very, very real issue.
Yeah, but I like how they personified it into being comedic.
Yeah.
And for someone who appreciates comedy a lot,
It is.
I like it.
Yeah.
Super funny.
It's so
It is
funny.
Super funny.
Yeah.
Classic for me is classic. Judge a book by its cover, because I just I ain't watching that.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm like, I'm gonna watch
What
this.
is
And then I'm
this?
like, I have to binge this.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so I hear good things about Big Mouth and BoJack Horseman.
That one's more of like a mental
mental
illness
thing,
thing
yeah.
than a puberty thing.
Yeah, I
that one's
think-
not as comedic, obviously, because Big Mouth is just all
Yeah.
comedy, but
I
BoJack
hear,
Horseman
I
does
hear
have
it
its
deals with a
moments.
lot of deep stuff, like depression.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I hear nothing but good things about that.
Not
as
just
well.
depression, depression, but it's that kind of depression where it doesn't even count as depression, because it's not even that, it just feels different.
Yeah, feeling maybe out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch it again
Yeah.
because I didn't.
That last
I don't know. I
season-
got it. I
That
enjoyed
last
it, but I
season
didn't
was
really-
the one that dealt with beyond
Oh, okay.
the depression stage, where it's more like borderline, like the breaking point, like you said before.
Yeah.
I've seen the
Yeah.
first season, I think, and I didn't even finish it. But what I saw was good.
But I think, like,
many
what you're
things
talking
to
about, the breaking
watch.
point, and we were talking about, like, oh, the good side of it and then the bad side of it. BoJack Horseman's really more of, like, the what are you going to do now side of it. It's more of, like, it's more what someone would do, if that makes sense. Because not everyone's going to go out and fight crime, and not everyone's going to go out and make crime. Some people are just going to live with it, like BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
Well, if there's anybody, for any of our listeners, if there's anybody that needs to reach out, MiraCosta has a series of hotlines, all right? So a series of crisis intervention hotlines, all right? So I'm going to read them one by one. So the first one we have is Access and Crisis Line. That number is 888-724-7240. All right, so 888-724-7240. The next one is the crisis text line. All right, so you can text, you just type in courage, and then after that, you type in 2, and which is 741741. Is that how that works?
Totally.
Yeah. I'd say though.
You just type in courage, and it automatically knows to go there?
I guess.
Well, if you go onto the MiraCosta website, go on the search engine, and type in mental health counseling, it'll pop up and it'll give you some instruction. The next one is up to 5D crisis line, which is 800-479-3339. That's 800-479-3339. Then we have the Veterans Crisis Hotline, which is 800-273-TALK. After that, star 1. All right, so that's the Veterans Crisis Hotline, which is 800-273-TALK. Then star 1. Then we have Courage to Call hotline, which is just 211. And last but not least, and this is just any general emergency, you can always call 911. So that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Oh, we're done?
We're done.
Oh, okay.
We're done. Alberto wants to go more. Well, we'll see you again. Alberto, you'll have plenty of more energy to disperse in the universe of film in our podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I'm Vidal.
I'm Kim.
Batman.
Alberto as Batman. And we'll see you next time.